Hello everyone, this is Jasmine, aka Gladiator in Sweats, here with the general new moon and Gemini reading for everyone. I will have the signs, particular sign videos up for purchase for $2.22. I should have that below. Just keep checking here, and I should also keep you guys updated in the daily readings when I have the signs come roll through. Right now I believe I'm at half, so I'm getting those cranked out. So do be patient with me. I am making them about 25 to 30 minutes long, or not purposefully, but that's just how long they're turning out to be. So I do appreciate you guys' patience and support and love in all of this. I am just honored to be of service in some way. So let's just get into it. I actually took some notes down for the transits last week, and I just wanted to read some of the notes that I took down as I was just looking at them, because I'm not really going to go over the particulars. I'm just going to discuss some messages that I got from looking at them. So I will take note of the notable transits, but that's pretty much it. I'm not really going to try and explain it particularly like that. I'm just going to let you know how I feel about it. So we do have Venus that enters Leo at the end of today. This is also at the same time that Mercury went into Cancer yesterday. So we have two really big shifts as far as the way that our mind is operating, or as far as the energy that we're perceiving, and then what we're desiring, what we're feeling, what we're emoting, what gives us a sense of peace and harmony. So not only that, I also noted that we also have Neptune going into retrograde in Pisces at the end of this week. So I feel like this is us kind of, whenever a planet goes into retrograde, I consider it as it going like hitting the reverse in the gear shift, and just taking a real kind of not even necessarily physically in reverse, but it's kind of if you imagine something concave, something caving into itself and going within. That's how I'm seeing this. And we perceive Neptune as kind of a higher octave or higher frequency of Mercury. So, or not, I say that's, I kind of see it more as a Venus and Mercury. I think it's kind of, I see when I read articles on it, some perceive it more Venus, some perceive it as a mix of it, where they would see Uranus as the higher octave of Mercury. But either way, we do have, Uranus and Neptune both playing, I feel, playing their parts in this. So I feel like either way, we're having this higher frequency feel of, and we're picking up on a higher sense of what's really around, not necessarily just paying attention to what's in front of us. Now we're becoming aware that not only, we've been aware that our thoughts and our feelings are there and are important, but now we're starting to make the connections between how we feel and what we're thinking and what is actually being perceived in our reality. There's a few other notable transits. We have the summer solstice every year around the 20th, 21st, I believe it's 21st really. So we have that, and that's also the same day that Sun enters Cancer. So when we have Cancer, and we also have Venus here, we just had a turn with Mercury and the Sun having its chance together, and so now again we're gonna have Venus and Mercury and the Sun kind of dancing together again. And how I mentioned about Neptune and Uranus, kind of having their play. So now we're having the lower minds, if you want to see it that way, the lower and the higher minds kind of having this dance, this complex and magical dance with each other, where we're learning and perceiving much more, and having to really learn a new way of discerning what's real and what's not, as far as what's true to us and what isn't. As you know what I mean? What we feel is true in our hearts for ourselves, and what is being perceived to us, what is being projected at us. Around the time of this full moon, this all comes into a close, or not really a close, but the full moon in Capricorn on the 27th, the day before, we have Mars going into retrograde. So Mars being a very personal planet, but not just personal, but a very active, a very not necessarily aggressive in a bad way, but very outward, expressive, actionable energy. With that going retrograde, I feel like that's just taking all of the current retrogrades that we have going on. We have Pluto, we have Saturn. I believe we still have Saturn. We'll have Neptune at this time. I can't remember how long ago it was when we did have all of these planets in retrograde so much like this. So I feel like, again, it wasn't that long ago, but it's like this doesn't really happen necessarily often historically. So I just feel like this is really a deeper spiritual time of us really being engulfed in the spiritual and the astral world more. Not so much, we are having to ground this, but I see this as us coming into balance. If we've spent a lot of time on the tangible and on the physical, now we're spending a little bit more time in the spiritual, and vice versa. But let me actually didn't even mean to discuss all the transits like that, but I guess that's what happens, huh? So let me just read my notes. So for Mars, we have Mars transiting in the south node. The nodes are these areas of karma and destiny. And so with this opposing Venus, I took note, we wish to fulfill our pleasures that make our hearts full and active, wanting to express our truest selves as we are destined to be, needing to balance with the ways in which we want to be more connected with others and alike souls. So for me, I felt that as soul connections with other people, as we come more into ourselves and bring more of our spiritual essence out, I feel like we'll be drawn to connect with more people that do resonate with us. But in doing that, we will have to actively let connections, or just make space for this to occur. At the same time that Mercury, it just went into Cancer. This is opposite Saturn and Capricorn right now. So I wrote the new ideas of our values and how we feel, what makes us feel most nurtured, as having to battle or kind of integrate with our current structures and karma. And so I'm seeing this as us really having to release what, like I said earlier, about releasing what doesn't work, what does. But before you can do that, you kind of have to take an assessment, right? And so that is actually the bottom of the card. If we do want to get into the tarot, I will get into that. But we have Seven of Pentacles as the bottom, as our underlying theme of assessment time. Even with the Judgment card that had been coming up for a long time, I'm seeing this as all right. So now we're having to sit down, take stock. It's kind of like I'm just imagining just like at the end of a race, like in a video game, where they kind of show everyone's place and show everyone's stats. And I'm not seeing this in a who do you need to beat kind of way, but it's just like you're getting to take stock of where you're at, see where your stats are. I'm even thinking of like a treadmill, like when you're done with a run and it kind of pops up with the information of like how many miles you've ran and calories you burned, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of, really having to take stock, see where you are, see how you need to do better, see where you maybe need to take a step back, just really having to. It kind of just feels like a new year, like that new year feeling that people get around December 31st. It feels like that right now as we're ending, I guess, the second end of this year of 2018. Let's see. I have a few other things down, but I don't even necessarily want to go into it too much more because I don't want to get too confusing. But I assume, or not even assume, but I'm going to rest assured that this will come up as we, actually come into these days, and I'll talk about these more then, because we have a few grand trines with water and fire. So I'm seeing this as like water coming through to kind of cleanse through the area and purify the area, and then the fire almost coming through like steam, kind of just like releasing like the more under stuff. Like I'm thinking like when you take a shower or something, you might like bathe up, but like as your pores open up and whatnot, then you wash your face kind of like towards the end of the shower, because you've had some time to kind of let your pores open up. I hope this all is making sense, but that's kind of the way I'm seeing this as far as how these transits are going to work for us, even on a physical level as well as a spiritual, where I'm seeing a lot of people fasting and a lot of people just kind of detoxing, juicing, doing all those kinds of things. Yeah, that's pretty much what I wrote down, was like an immense purging, and just like a rising of from our root chakra, like a rising of our energy becoming erect, and like us really being able to fully be present in our body in like in a new way. Like we feel more like our God selves. That's kind of the way I'm seeing, like really having to do a lot of purging to kind of let more of who we truly are out. Also have notes about us healing more of our inner child with this Sun, Saturn, Chiron placement that's going on in a little bit too. So I'm seeing this with healing, like not just our inner child, but healing like I'm feeling like familial like patterns, and like I don't want to say curses, because I don't really want to see it that way, but of like just ways of being that kind of have been imprinted into us for generations. Like this isn't really about us, like, and that's kind of what I've been feeling even just this week, of the feelings that I've been picking up on, or just the turbulent emotions that I've been having, not necessarily them being mine, feeling more like I'm purging something that's not mine. I'm purging something from more than just me. So maybe others are feeling that as well. So as we finally get into the tarot cards, I did pull 2 oracle cards. I want to pull 2 because it is a new moon in Gemini, so I want to do something with the balance with the 2. So let's go ahead. Like I discussed, we have this moment of assessment of us. I believe I actually mentioned this in someone's video. It may have been Sagittarius. I don't recall. But the way that I see this card, the way that he's like looking kind of over his goods, I'm seeing this as him almost like taking stock of like everything that he has and seeing if what he's currently made is going to work for him in the long run. Or maybe not even necessarily seeing what he already has, but maybe looking at the rest of the land, trying to see, all right, that's what I'm thinking of. The foundation, how you build your foundation, how you start is how you end, is how you finish. And that's how I'm seeing, is like you're wanting, like you've started, you have been building and working on something new lately, I feel. And so it's like all right, so, or not necessarily just new, but what you have been working on, because we do have this 8 of Pentacles in reverse. And so I'm feeling like maybe you have actually been feeling like a lack of focus, and feeling like what you've been currently building actually isn't what you really truly want to build. Like you're like, wait, I've been doing this, and you've been doing it for a long time, but I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Or like, I don't even know if this is actually gonna like work out or hold out for like what I want. Like, even if it's like I'm building for like something like this, but like what I'm dreaming is much bigger. So it's kind of like, now you're kind of looking at it from a much more like Sagittarian, like bigger picture. Like, okay, so all of this, there's all these facts, but like, what does it mean now? What does it mean for me? And so it's like looking, being like, maybe this isn't the way I need to go. Or maybe it is, but either way, it's taking that pause before you continue working. So here we have the Hermit in reverse as far as where we've been currently. And so I feel for a lot of us, we have been in a state of isolation, really having to distance ourselves from other people, other places, other things, whatever it is that we feel is bringing, like, is distracting you from the truth that you're trying to find. But I feel like even though we're doing this and it's, you know, it's necessary, but now we're feeling a bit lonely, because I'm feeling like, so we've taken stock, and not only have we taken stock, maybe some of us have really did the detachment, really did the cutting of cords with certain people and certain habits, or, you know, certain places, just whatever you felt like, oh, that doesn't resonate with me anymore. It's like, wow, now on second thought, or like, you know, you're around people or certain people you've always been around. It's like, wait, now this feels weird. And so now you just kind of feel like, wow, so I did the work. I feel like I'm more myself, but why am I alone? You know, why do I feel like I don't have anyone else like-minded, or just feeling, you know, just feeling really isolated? And maybe not just isolated, but maybe resentful. We have the Six of Pentacles in reverse here. So I'm feeling like what we're seeking is we're seeking what we're owed. Like we want our payback. Maybe we've seen like the ways in which we've been working hard and maybe giving to others, maybe giving of our time, giving of our money, or just giving of ourselves, just in any capacity, and feeling like it had never been, you know, returned. And so it's like now maybe you're kind of like, as you've taken your step back and seen this bigger picture, it's like, whoa, so this is how it's really been going down, or like this is what it looks like. Like, this is what it really looks like when I kind of, you know, step out. You know, when you're painting like a mural or like a really big, you know, painting, you can't really see the whole entire portrait. You kind of have to take a step back, and until that happens, and like that's when you're able to take that assessment. You're able to really kind of like, all right, do I need to redo? Is this part fine? Am I able to move on? And so I feel like you took a step back, or a lot of us had taken that step back to look at what we've been creating and seeing like, wow, so that actually didn't turn out how I thought it was, or this isn't what I thought it would be. And feeling resentful, like I'm seeing like the red, and feeling like now you're feeling unsupported because you feel as if you've just been giving and no one's been, you're waiting for your payback. This isn't the, what is it that we're desiring? So I'm seeing as this, you're wanting the weight to be shift. You want the wheel to spin in your favor. And so I can understand how that could leave anyone feeling a little bit resentful, feeling like, even almost vengeful about it. I feel as if with this Queen of Swords here, and we do have the Ten of Wands in reverse. So this is the known and the hidden factors. So I often like to see this as the conscious and subconscious, or the reality, how it's appearing in reality and visible light, and how what we're feeling like in the inside, or what's going on in the inside. So I feel that we are having to learn not a new way of discerning our emotions and learning our boundaries, but also learning how to open our heart. I mean, you do notice that she has, sorry about the glare, see if you can see there. You can notice like she has the thorns on her crown. She does hold her sword and wield her sword upright and, in front of her, very much, erect and unmoving. So it is very much in a defensive kind of mode. But also notice, like in the heart space, there's this very open flower. It's very open and blossoming, you know. You can see the pollen, the nectar there in the center. So it's like it's like an emotional vulnerability while also wielding a certain amount of discernment and having a certain amount of boundaries. Like there's an art to the Queen of Swords where she's able to see the truth and know the truth, you know, as it is, but still be able to be open. You have to be kind of open to receive the truth in the first place. And you kind of see, even with the clouds in the back, like it's not that there isn't any sort of cloudiness. So this is us really having to really parse through what feels like a healthy connection or a healthy relationship. And this doesn't have to just be with romantic relationships or even just people. This could be, you know, with our jobs, with our environments. And so with this 10 of Wands in reverse, of something feeling like overbearing, feeling like you're gonna drop all the sticks, like it's just all gonna fall out of your hands. I'm kind of seeing this in either way, that is not gonna be a bad thing. How you perceive it is what will determine how you feel about it. Honestly, that's really what I'm picking up here, especially when we have the Hanged Man at the top for our outcome here. And so when I'm seeing this as having to really release any baggage that we don't need to carry any longer. And this is the 10 of Wands, so it's like it's something we've been carrying since like the jump, you know, since forever. If you can just go back as far as you can in your mind to however long you've been carrying whatever sort of emotional burden or just burden on your heart. Because even just the way that he has to hold these sticks and it guards his heart, because there's nothing he's able to get through there. And it's not necessarily his fault. It's just he's not even going to be able to see. He can't even see past his burdens, you know? So there's a release. There's a complete release here. And it can feel like sacrifice. It can feel like having to lose a limb. Having to like divorce your pain. I feel like a lot of us are having to like divorce our pain. We've been in relationships with like our wounds because we felt like that's all we kind of had, or that we felt like that was our identity, like that was a way to identify ourselves. I also see this as, you know, an initiation of us really, of a test of us really having to surrender. I'm also seeing this almost as like the spirit coming out of the body being hung upside down. And I have no idea why I'm thinking that, but like I'm just really seeing this as like really kind of I forget what the term is. Those chambers where like you're not able to sense anything. I don't know why the term's losing me, but like where you're really having to go inside because you're no longer paying attention to like the taste and the touch and the smell and the sound and the physical feel of things. Not going necessarily with like the 3D, having to really feel, having to really kind of let your, I feel like kind of let your spirit take a break almost. And not even really just take a break, but I'm just really just seeing this as I'm imagining the way that he's hanging upside down and like the fog having to like roll through, and I don't know why, but I'm just feeling like I think I mentioned this also on my Instagram of, you know, the only way past this is through it. And it's not necessarily through it as in like bulldozing your way through it, or bulldozing your way through it, but like literally just kind of being. I'm also, again, imagining the steam that I mentioned of like the water coming through, and then the heat, the fire coming and like boiling it, or, you know, helping to purify it even further. That's what I'm seeing with this. So I really do love this reading for us all. So let me just go ahead into the oracle cards. I'm already at 25 minutes, so let me try and do this a little fast, because it will cut off for me at 33 minutes, because I believe that's as long as I can make my videos when I do them in HD. So I want to show you both the cards first before I go into reading them. We have the deep blue dragon, if you can see there, deep blue dragon, and the golden orange dragon. This might be in reverse, I'm not sure for you guys, but I'll read it for you anyway. And this is reminiscent of what I was just saying with the water and the fire coming through, when really the fire kind of being you. But let's go a little bit further. So the deep blue dragon says, keep you safe by clearing your pathway. Trust that you are protected. Walk on a path of light. And so we have for the golden orange dragon, expands your light for ascension. Be a peaceful warrior. Help those in need. Remember your magnificence. So again, of us, you know, remembering really truly who we are at a very soul spirit level. Also mentioned this week in the daily readings of us really coming into, I think it was just yesterday, of us coming into our spiritual warrior selves, of us really, and not necessarily like harming others, but it's about, you know, fighting for love, fighting for peace and harmony, but in your own way. Doesn't have to be in a very like activist or anything kind of way. Like, that's not necessarily the connotation here. So let me go ahead and read this before it cuts out on me. Let's see, 60. These are pretty short, so it shouldn't be too long. All right. So the deep blue dragon here. Deep blue dragons work with Archangel Michael, the angel of strength and protection. Dragons can delve into deep, dense matter in a way that angels cannot. They can clear and transmute lower energies up to 1 kilometer around those they work with. These frequencies may be our emotions and thoughts, or the emotions and thoughts of people in our vicinity. Many of us are very sensitive and do not realize how much the vibrations of others impact on us. Every time we walk in a crowd, we are in a sea of mixed energies, and these deep blue dragons are master clearance experts. They blow away the foggy vibrations, and then Archangel Michael can more easily connect with us and place his deep blue cloak around us. This card is suggesting that you call on the deep blue dragons to protect you or your loved ones. Visualize a protecting army of deep blue dragons gliding in front of you wherever you walk or drive. Let them precede you in your home or office. Ask them to dive into the ground below your house to consume all lower energies. Ask them to keep an area of 1 kilometer around you totally clear. Relax and trust this is happening. Because the deep blue dragons are transmuting the lower emotions of those in your vicinity, you are no longer moving through the dense energies of other people. Notice how much lighter and happier you feel. You can serve the planet by asking deep blue dragons to dive under your shopping mall, schools, big buildings, or anywhere you feel they are needed to consume dense vibrations. And I'll also read the golden orange, and then we'll just close this up with any final thoughts. Fifth dimensional golden orange dragons are part of Archangel Metatron's ascension team. Archangel Metatron is leading forward individuals who are ready to follow his path. At the same time, he is overseeing the ascension of the entire universe. The golden orange dragons who work for him are carrying the fifth dimensional ascension blueprint for Earth, and they come to those of us who are ready to make a difference. As soon as they see golden orange energy awaken in our aura, they breathe into us to expand it and accelerate our ascension journey. These magnificent dragons demonstrate dignity, peace, and power with wisdom. They are peaceful spiritual warriors, always ready to help and encourage those in need. This card connects you with the illuminated Archangel Metatron, as well as the powerful ascended dragons. You are on your ascension path, and golden orange dragons are pouring high-frequency light into your aura to attract the attention of the masters, angels, and unicorns who are guiding you. Drawing this card suggests it is time for a push forward on your ascension path. Do you need to meditate more, or examine and release old stuff, or embrace who you truly are and recognize your magnificence? Tell these dragons what you need in order to take the next step on your journey into the higher frequencies, and they will help you. Call on them for support, and they will provide it. They are wonderful companions and friends. So whether you like to work with elementals or not, again, this is definitely speaking of transmuting the negative or the lower around you into not necessarily more positive. I see it as neutral or positive energy. Either way is fine. It's not even that negative is inherently bad. Everything serves its purpose, but it's time. Everything has served its purpose now, so it's time to move on. Almost the way that even lately with Kilauea in Hawaii, where the volcano erupted, and this isn't just a normal eruption. It has really transformed the big island forever. The way that the landscape is shaped is forever changed, and I feel like that's very much symbolic for all of us now, where we're really creating something new. But in creating something new, the old has to come down. The old has to be not just revised. It has to be kind of low-key demolished, so you're able to build it from a clean, fresh slate if necessary. So I'm gonna end it there before the video ends on me. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the love, support, and the likes, comments, all of that. I'm so appreciative. I send you all my love. I send you guys many blessings, and wish you much luck in the next 2 weeks. I'm hoping to include maybe some more commentary on this on my Instagram, since the video is getting cut a little bit shorter than I might have liked to. But either way, check out the daily videos, the weekly forecast, as well as the extended of new moon readings that I will have below for all of the signs. So thank you so much for your support, and until next time, bye.